Hi Kiwi, and welcome back to another episode of Hades 1. This is our mirror setup for today. I'm going to be taking Fated Authority because I'm going to be trying to get as many Demeter boons as I can for a very silly gimmick build. We're going to build around the cast and the attack and just have as many freezing beams as possible, and then get, what is it, Arctic Burst? Or I'm forgetting the name, but the boon that explodes enemies when they get 10 stacks of chilled, and we just want enemies to get chilled over and over and over again. We're going to take 1 level of Lasting Consequences, max out Jury Summons, 3 levels of Extreme Measures, 2 maxing out Benefits Package, Minimal Management, 1 level of Forced Overtime, 2 levels of Damage Control, and 2 levels of Tight Deadline for a total of 25 heat.
Won't get bounties any faster with this extra heat.
Which feels like a very reasonable middle ground for spicy but doable without losing the ability to buy and keep boons from the shop.
My warm regards and all my blessings to you, little sprout.
Alright, Demeter, what have you got? I think we take her cast here just so that we lock in. We can start potentially seeing Glacial Glare sooner than later. Glacial Glare is going to be really important because if we can get more stacks on the beams will last longer. Beyond that, we're probably hunting for Artemis or Aphrodite. I will take either. Crystal Clarity is objectively the better boon in terms of performance. Crystal Embrace is the better boon in terms of meme, and basically only that. It's really honestly a very lackluster boon in my opinion. Its DPS potential isn't amazing. You don't really want to be the kind of targeting system for an attack. You want to set it and forget it. Although I guess that still works with Crystal Embrace. It's just it's way less reliable to get the damage off. We'll take the early hammer, sure, why not? I would love to see Delta Chamber, I think, as my boon, but something that gives us AoE on our attack, honestly not a terrible pick. We'll see how it plays out though. For now, I just need to remember to every now and again, especially when I'm reloading, toss out my special, because those do a nice bit of damage to enemies. These Void Stones are spawning in unideal locations, and I'm trying to dash through that wall and not having any success. So we took actually a pretty hefty amount of damage because I flubbed that dash. Let's see, targeting system, triple bomb, or greater inferno. So all of these are kind of special centered, but targeting system isn't bad. Triple bomb actually works really well with Lucifer because it lets us get out a big DPS chunk very quickly. Greater inferno is kind of whatever. I think between these two, I mean, this will benefit our attack more, but I'll take triple bomb because I think we'll get better synergy out of that overall. There's Poseidon who could set us up with Mirage Shot, so I'll take him because again, we do want as many we want as many crystal beams as we can get, and Mirage Shot does help a lot in that front. Definitely want more Demeter than not. Again, at bare minimum, we need Glacial Glare, Arctic Burst or whatever its equivalent is, and we need what is it called? Oh goodness. And we need one of her duos with Artemis and Aphrodite and Glacial Glare, if I didn't say that already, which I think I did.
There, little Hades. The swim that is within the pool of blessings. Now dive in.
Diving right in. All right, Poseidon, what have you got for us? Honestly, Tidal Dash, not a bad option. It gives us damage close range, and we'll want to push things away if they get close to us, so I think I'll take that. Poseidon's Aid is really not a bad option as an alternative. Does it set us up for Mirage Shot, though, is the real question. Let me double check that, because honestly, I really do like his aid. It's very good for safety. The downside is it locks in, adds Zeus and Hermes boons to the pool that I may not want if we end up seeing Zeus, really. But honestly, for me, it's a strong choice between the two of these. I think I'll take Poseidon's aid, though. Just means I'm a little bit safer, and I am prone to taking a lot of damage with these sorts of builds, so it doesn't hurt to take a little bit of a safety metric here. Getting a free chamber, okay, won't complain about that, thank you. And we'll toss it on the cast, I suppose, because we're hopefully going to build some damage around that. We'll take the shop here because we can afford a boon here. Hopefully we see one of the gods we want. We get a mystery boon here, and there's another Demeter, awesome. Do I just lock in the free Hermes? Well, it's not free, obviously, or do I risk the mystery boon? I'm going to risk it, let's do it.
This is for you.
Ugh. Alright, well, as long as we get Artemis, we're fine. Ares is whatever, but we can contend with Ares. I think out of all of these, though, I guess I take Blood Frenzy. None of these are really good options. We'll take Blood Frenzy, but now as long as we see Artemis, we're fine. If we get forced into a fourth god that we don't want, we're gonna cry and kind of just be sad about how the run is gonna go the rest of the way, unfortunately. Not sure where my special was going there. I do very much appreciate getting triple bomb here. It makes us have a lot of good early game damage because without a good attack boon from Demeter, we're kind of just waiting for something to happen here, admittedly. Although, oh my goodness, our special just goes wherever it pleases, doesn't it? I guess I'll have to manually aim it if I want it to work the way I want. definitely could have used Poseidon's Aid better then. All right, high tier attack or nope, that's it. We're taking this epic tier attack. I'm pretty happy with that actually. That's a really that'll help our damage substantially. Palming the attack, not a bad option here. I in theory could use Fated Authority to reroll these major find rooms and get a little bit more in the way of damage on the attack, or sorry, potentially see a better god boon, but look at just Poseidon, especially early on. Poseidon boons just kind of clear rooms very easily. Poseidon is great in Tartarus because he has a lot of high base damage that just scales relatively well into later game. And then he's also really good for Styx just because everything's close range. Of course, I got clipped on that wall. That was really unfortunate. And then those guys just got popped by one special. Okay. All right, let's palm that attack boon.
Olympus.
Yeah, that's a nice 16% more damage on the attack. Won't complain about that even remotely. A key for rerolls, not a bad option, although we really are looking for god boons here. I can't complain too much, I suppose.
Weak.
The one downside to damage control with Triple Bomb is that it's going to block our initial 2 explosions unless I tag them with a cast or an attack, which really isn't that hard to do realistically speaking. So it's not terrible, but there is a degree of inconvenience perceived. Like here was an example where that Loud could have easily taken more damage if I had popped its shield earlier. Oh well. Each special at the moment, since we don't have any boons on it, only do 100. But that's I mean, the tankiest enemy in Styx, I think, or in Tartarus rather, has like at most 250 HP, not accounting for armor. So we'll make it work. I should just be using my Poseidon Call here. I have so much stacked up on that. Aphrodite is our final god. I could roll here and hope for Artemis, or I just accept that we're going Crystal Clarity here, or Crystal Embrace. Let's do it. It's a gimmick run anyway, why not just go for the full meme? The full meme beam build. That said, I think I've made it clear, Crystal Embrace is really lackluster in terms of what it does. I don't find it reliable for getting my damage off the way I want it. It's certainly not nearly as reliable as I would consider, what's it called? Crystal Clarity.
Hi, Aphrodite.
We'll take your special, please.
You've shown me a good time there, love. Although I almost can't imagine a good time where you reside. So dreary constantly.
I'm having a great time, Aphrodite. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, we'll take Heartbreak Flourish, 80% special damage, and Inflicting Weak. Now we can reliably get Status Privilege going. A Sisyphus for coin doesn't sound bad. We have just barely enough coin to get a
Hello.
boon from the final shop.
Before you go, Prince Zed, a little souvenir from your fine stay in Tartarus.
So this will guarantee it for us.
Got just the thing.
And Boldy, if you don't mind.
An offering to the finest boulder in all of Tartarus.
What do we get today, Boldy? Ambiguity, fair enough. Maybe it's because I didn't talk to you first. Sorry, bud. Appreciate the sentiment either way. Honestly, maybe I reroll here just to see if we can get a boon as a major find. More coin, I won't complain. The palm on the attack probably would have been better there, but we do need some amount of coin, so I'm not going to complain about rolling once there for just the sake of getting a little bit better in the way of affording boons, especially in Asphodel. Asphodel is a very short biome overall, so it's hard to stack up coin. So if you don't have enough coin for both the mid and the end shop, you very well could miss out on some good boons, especially if you get the lucky Hermes in the shop. Then you're just kind of SOL in terms of what you can really afford and benefit from in those chambers. Anyway, so let's talk about things that are happening in real life. So Kiwi and I have been on, Guaranteed Aphrodite is not a bad option here. Could very much hopefully give us Crystal Embrace almost immediately. Since it is one of the god boons we're looking for, I probably lock that in. I guess there was no point in taking Poseidon if we don't go for Mirage Shot, so maybe I do a 5 god run, which seems silly in hindsight, or in foresight, I suppose. Sweet Surrender doing more damage to weak afflicted foes really doesn't sound bad for us, so I'll take that, but I do actually think I'm going to have to take Artemis's Dash and lock in for a 5 god run if I want to have the build I want, frankly.
Hello, Fury
RNG is
Sisters.
going to be really mean to me on that front.
Let's go, sister. Together we can take it.
Oh well. We'll take whichever duo boon we get from the two of them from Demeter, between Artemis and Aphrodite, I suppose. I'm gonna complain about it either way. Well, actually, I won't. I will definitely complain less about Crystal Clarity. Anyway, so real life events. So Kiwi and I have been adventuring around thrift shops, hunting for fun Regency-themed garb. She has a bachelor party that she's going to, where the dress theme is based on Bridgerton, which is Regency-style wear. which neither of us have really any sense of what that even is. Realistically speaking, we're not even remotely close to fashionistas. I have let my mom dress me since the day I was born, pretty much, and most of my clothing is at this point either hand-me-downs or presents from my mom, some of which I don't like, some of which I do like, but all of which I at some point or another wear. Like, most of the clothing that I have personally picked out for myself are either pajamas or professional wear, because that's basically all I wear. I don't really wear outside clothing because I don't go outside for things that aren't work, groceries, or that's basically it. I go out for work and groceries, and then I stay inside in pajamas most of the time. That is the life, isn't it, Kiwi? We'll take the Artemis Keepsake here, lock her in. Hopefully we get some good boons from her. Cast damage, it's not really that exciting when we don't have any Glacial Glare or boons to really benefit the build, and we don't need to sell anything. I'm gonna Force of Habit check the Pool of Purging every time we are offered it, just because, or in the in-between floors, just because of all the 32 heat runs we've done recently and the constant need to purge a boon for Underworld Customs. All right, let's see. What have we got here? A coin. I mean, this is usually major fine. There's a decent chance I could roll and see Artemis here. Oh, Hermes, not bad. I'll take Hermes over coin here. I think we have enough coin for a mid shop, right? Because we took that extra coin room earlier. Yeah, we can afford mid and end shop boons here, so I think this is fine. Setting up my bomb so that I can hopefully explode that head as it landed, and it worked fairly well to our advantage. A Draken room without a really good way of dealing with projectiles is rough. Honestly, Athena might have been a good option for this build, not for like anything synergistically wise, just for overall damage blocking.
I hope you enjoyed the life of being slow, because all that's about to change right here.
Love to hear it, Hermes. What have you got for us? Let's see. Second win, Greater Haste, Swift Strike. 10% on the attack, just stacking up Glacial Glare potentially a little bit faster. Doesn't sound terrible. Second win is just great, and Greater Haste is great for survivability, I suppose. If I'm using Poseidon's Aid for survivability anyway, it synergizes very well for us. But I'm going to take the attack speed. It's stupid, it's silly, it doesn't really offer us much in the way of what we want for this build. But if we stack our chilled stacks a little bit faster, awesome for us. Coin or palm at this point doesn't terribly matter. I have so many rerolls. I should probably like try rerolling at least once. It's going to be HP. I'm really curious to see what happens if I roll a second time. Oh, there she is. See? Okay, it was worth it. We used 2 rerolls, but we got an Artemis boon, so it was worth it. It was very much worth it. I think. I don't know. I'm not looking for high tier Artemis boons. I'm just looking for boons that set us up for the build we want. I hope that Artemis's dash counts for Crystal for any of the boons we want. Honestly, maybe what the better option is I kind of forego Crystal Clarity and start working on trying to get Artemis's legendary. So what I'll do is, if we're not offered boons that synergize or that don't really set us up for her duo, I won't rephrasing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prioritize boons that set us up for Artemis's legendary. And if I don't get offered those boons, then I'll worry about setting up for Crystal Clarity afterwards and take her dash.
I'll be looking out for you. If you don't mind, of course.
Never mind. Something weird is going on with Chaos's gate in the upper left corner. It's like flashing. Do you see that? Chaos. I think Chaos really wants us to visit. Okay, well, that's not usual. I guess I'll take pressure points. I didn't expect her to offer us 2 trades. Deadly Strike does not sound very good, although that 54% attack modifier with chance to crit on this build, not terrible. But yeah, we'll take pressure points. We'll need support fire as our second option.
Strike the count.
I mean, Chaos was really trying to flag us in. They could be telling us that they have a cast stone for us. But I probably go for the shop just for guaranteed boons. I don't know. Chaos was doing so much to get our attention. I have to see. Like, this won't help us with our build unless they give us a cast stone. But I'm gonna believe in Chaos's information. All right, now I really, really need to time this well because I want to get the rarest fish off. Oh.
Lost it.
I should have just shut up and focused. Oh well. I am eluded indeed. Alright, Chaos, please. Oh my goodness. I believed and Chaos believed too. Alright, so we lose 60% move speed, but we do get a cast stone, and that is incredible since we want as many crystal beams as we can get. Look how slow I am. Oh my goodness, this is painful. We're gonna take the Demeter boon here because she can offer us so much of what we want. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about her duo with Poseidon or Ares. I don't actually even remember. Oh, right. No, it's weird. A lot of Demeter's duos are duos that affect casts, which I think is probably her biggest weakness, honestly. Like, some gods are made incredible by the duos they carry, and unfortunately, Demeter really has terrible duos in that regard. Like, let me rephrase that. The casts she offers when you get duoed are really good, but they're very niche. Like, you have to plan your build around them most of the time. Like, I'm not going to often go a frost shot build or a freezing, whatever the slicing shot duo with Demeter is. I'm rarely going to go those routes.
It's Lady Demeter.
All right, Cold Embrace, there it is. And we didn't get her, well, I don't think I really have a choice here. We take Cold Embrace for sure. For the memes, Kiwi, for the memes. All right, so we only have one cast stone, but it now makes our crystal beam last 4 seconds longer.
All's well in Asphodel, your royal majesty. You take care of yourself. I'll be here.
Appreciate the rhyming there, Eurydice. We'll go ahead and take Refreshing Nectar and hopefully see some more good Demeter boons. HP, good roll here. I could roll, but I feel like we're just gonna get Coin or Palm. Those seem to roll from each other first, and then you get a God boon offered. We have not seen any mini bosses on offer yet, so we should at least. Oh, actually, no, we just had the Death Bark. We definitely. We haven't seen a mini boss chamber option, but we were given it immediately upon exiting the Chaos Gate, I guess is really what it is, and that's why my brain is like, I haven't seen any mini bosses. Where are they? I can get some rare tier boons still. We do, in theory, could still. We still, in theory, could see another mini boss room with either the Mega Gorgon or the Witch's Circle. I don't think it's likely. It tends to be a one mini boss per Asphodel run, unlike the other biomes that are a bit longer. But if we do see a mini boss chamber, it will always. They never repeat mini bosses, so we have at least those options to show up. Anyway, so yeah, we were hunting for Regency clothes, which is a little bit stressful because neither of us know what we're doing, and finding a combination of clothes that fit the aesthetic and fit the body, it's definitely a point of stress for all parties involved, unfortunately. So I won't talk too much about it because I don't want it to like bring up uncomfortable thoughts for Kiwi. But what I will say is it has been so much fun to just go out and do something that we don't usually do together. Like, and the thrift shops are kind of fun because they're just, you find really silly things. We found a fondue pot, we found a silly rice cooker. Of course we didn't get these things, mind you, but the fact that they were there, particularly the fondue pot, there was a small moment of Kiwi just looking at me like, I really, really, really want the fondue pot. I'm like, we really, really, really do not need the fondue pot, but I understand. Hey Ares, I completely forgot you were on this run. I guess I'll take your boon because we can, I don't know what we can do with you, frankly. Urge to kill, 16% more damage on the attack, not a bad option, so I guess I'll take that. I'll save my coin for the rest, but maybe I take the HP here. I mean, I can still afford I can still afford 2 boons in Elysium if I have this much coin, so yeah, we'll go that route. Unfortunately, our build is a whole lot of little bits that haven't quite come together yet.
May I say you look lovely this day or night, Lernie?
You may say that, Zagreus. Thank you. So we have basically made our crystal beams kind of useless because I'm rarely going to position in a way that makes them work the way I want. But it's fine. We'll just focus on using what we have. I'll just make sure that I toss out my crystal beams because if I'm kiting around, eventually they will position in some manner that probably does some amount of damage. Maybe, I guess, I hope. I genuinely hope. I don't know, I never use Crystal Embrace because it honestly, focusing on positioning around Crystal Embrace makes me take more damage than the damage dealt by Crystal Embrace, I have to say. I just like trying to position correctly. If I focus on that, I'm not focusing on positioning around enemies. And that's one of the biggest weaknesses to the build, the boon again. I feel like it's too unwieldy and unreliable. I'm gonna try and break as many shields as I can so that I can potentially get a Poseidon call. There we go. Pop these 2 heads if I can. If we get, honestly, I won't complain if we get Poseidon's call enhancing boon, the tier 2 that specifically affects his call and nothing else, but extends the duration. It would be really cool if they made it so his call, he had a boon that just makes call duration increase, period. But that would be too broken. That would be objectively broken. I think we popped all the heads. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so Triple Bomb honestly is phenomenal on Lucifer. Like, look at that. That's actually our main source of damage right now. And plus, not to mention, Aphrodite's damage modifier is fantastic.
Got you.
But honestly, this is going to sound really weird, Kiwi, and forgive me for saying this, but I think we both agreed on this. You, honestly, you wear men's clothing really well. So, for context, the bachelor party that she's going to is having like 2 days of fancy dress. One day it's going to be female Regency themed clothing, and then one day is going to be male masculine themed Regency clothing. And honestly, you look pretty dapper in a suit and a vest. Not going to lie, Kiwi, I was digging it. All right, what boon do I take, or what god do I lock in? I could lock in Poseidon, but we don't have a second Artemis boon to get Mirage Shot off of, so that doesn't seem good. Honestly, I probably just take Coin Person, set us up for more coin with sticks later. I think that's the plan. Don't need to check the pool of purging. Do I buy the HP? Certainly worth considering. Urn of Ariadne, actually, I'm going to take.
I'll just take this one.
And I'll take the HP. I need a little bit of survivability. We do not have a good answer to a lot of the threats of sticks. If we get a really nasty Flame Wheels room, a Shielder room, ooh, if we get a lot of bowmen, the bow, whatever they have, the strong bows, I think they are. Those guys are going to be a right pain to deal with. At least we're free of the Chaos Curse. I will take this hammer. I don't really know what I want. Honestly, Piercing Fire would not be a bad option. Would help us deal with armored enemies a lot better. But honestly, you know what? Looking at that, we're doing reasonable damage at this stage. Just need to remember to constantly be dropping crystals. We still don't even have the Demeter boon that we were like, this will be kind of how our build works. We need to stack as many chilled activations as possible to have enemies exploding on each other, and we don't have that. So, I don't know. This is one of those where we had an idea and it just may not pay off in the long run, but we'll make it work with what we got. Thankfully, Chaos Duelist was like, hey, flagging Zagreus now, come get a free cast.
Modifications to the
Oh, hey, Piercing Fire, or Triple Beam, or Flash Fire. Flash Fire would allow us to stack our attack faster, but I mean, there's no guarantee at this point that we get it. Piercing Fire, again, just helps us with one of our biggest weaknesses. Although our DBS does feel like it's up there now. It's basically logical versus meme at this point. And we go meme every time, Kiwi. We go meme every time. There's Hermes, there's Coin, there's Chaos. Let's go for Chaos again. Realistically speaking, I'm probably not getting another cast stone, but it would be cool if I did. It would be very cool if I did.
In the name of Hades.
And we don't get it. I can't re-roll, and I can't use my cast. Alternatively, cast damage. I don't want to give up the ability to get coin. We'll need a lot of coin and sticks. More coin. Honestly, I think I just give up the attack, the cast, and accept that I'm going to get a 50% attack modifier. That sounds really nice for us. I'll take the reroll. We can do some shenanigans and sticks with all the rerolls we have with with Fated Authority. So I'll go that route for now. Without Fated Persuasion, the odds of us getting a good, reliable set of duos that we want, unlikely. Very unlikely. We're going to try for it, though. Unfortunately, because I don't have reliable hit stun on my attack, I don't have a good way of preventing these Revenants from spawning other than the special, so I'll have to be very mindful of that. I also can't knock Strongbows out of their attack animation, which can be really bad if we're trying to avoid getting hit by them. On the bright side, though, again, if I don't wait too long to get damage off, I can pretty much melt anything that spawns in with these explosions. Try and get this guy taken care of. The fewer enemies shooting at me, the better, I would say. Also, need to remember that we do have. Oh wait, no, we didn't take Piercing Fire. For a moment, I thought we had taken Piercing Fire. Oh well. I think there is a maximum range for Strongbows where after that point they can't actually hit you with their arrows. The arrows just despawn. Using my cast out of habit there, genuinely. All right. Aphrodite versus Demeter Poseidon Trial. Honestly, I probably go that because we could get Poseidon's Tier 2 on his call, which would be great. We could get Glacial Glare, or there are two boons that we really, really want from Demeter still, and there's nothing that we actually want from Aphrodite now that I think about it. Kind of wasted those. Let me pop those. They're not sitting there. Let's see. I feel like I'm more likely going to take damage from Poseidon, honestly.
Yes!
Wave Pounding, Hydraulic Might, none of these are really boons that I want, but more damage to bosses with our call that does a pretty hefty amount of damage. If I get one palm on that, this is actually going to do a lot of damage. It already does a lot of damage, frankly, so I'll take that. I'll take Wave Pounding here.
If you are so disinterested in my generosity, young Zagreus, then you shall have my wrath.
Actually, it's less that I'm disinterested in your generosity, it's more that I'm disinterested in your wrath, as it turns out. So, since your wrath is more forgiving after all. Right? Shouldn't be using my cast, I forgot.
Almost.
Right. Just need to be constantly tossing out special with Triple Bomb, and that'll help us melt these archers. As long as I pay attention to where her AoEs are spawning in, I should be able to reliably avoid them. That said, things kind of blend into the floor of Elysium here. I figured if I use this wall on the bridge to kind of block their angle, they'll get forced into coming near me, and then I can pop them very easily, and that actually worked pretty well. right, where's your next wave spawning? Over there? You can shoot over these barriers in Elysium if you didn't know. I wasn't sure if I could, because I know you can do it in Hades Fight. Once again, I'm going to try and bring enemies closer so that I can hopefully pop them with things. Oh, he's blocking the special. Oh, you know what? I need to remember that I have this.
Not yet.
Oh, I thought I had another charge. Shoot. Oh, man, I took it. That was a lot of unnecessary damage. Oh, well. I think we can kill this before we get hit again. And barely survive, but there we go. Okay. Ooh, just a little sweaty. We're fine.
Next time, young Zagreus, perhaps I'll take every last bit of warmth you've left down there.
That's fine. Asphodel's really hot. If you want all that warmth, take it. You might regret your decision, though. We still do not get Arctic Burst or whatever it's called. Let me get the name right. Hold on. What is it called? Arctic Blast. There we go. I'm getting Arctic Blast and where is it? Snowburst mixed up. There it is. That's those two boons I just get mixed up. Snowburst makes us do an AoE when we cast. Arctic Burst is the one that we're actually hunting for. But Killing Free is not bad, actually. That's pretty solid for us since we're going to be making everything chilled, hopefully. Still no Glacial Glare, though. Really bad luck. We'll take the shop here because, again, I have no interest in Aphrodite. I could re-roll that Aphrodite room, honestly, but here's Demeter. Awesome. And there's, at long last, we get the two boons we're looking for most. Of the two, honestly, I'll probably take Glacial Glare, frankly, just to make our cast last longer, because now I can start stacking bombs on it, in theory, if I didn't have a bunch of boons that'll eat charges first. A second Demeter. Honestly, we have enough coin. I'm going to buy this HP here, just for a little bit of extra survivability. We'll go for this Demeter room, and hopefully we'll get Arctic Burst now. Oh, right. Should not be using casts. I thought our Curse of Chaos had worn off by now. I'm going to use this barrier to hopefully evade some of these flame wheels. This fancy movement is honestly my favorite way of dealing with flame wheels, but it does inevitably set me up for failure on a single hit, usually. I have to be very careful about when I choose to dash, but like, this is genuinely satisfying to avoid damage. I only got hit once, which honestly, if I had tried to do that any other way, probably wouldn't have been as clean as it was. It gets a lot dicier when you have other enemies spawning in, so I usually kite back and try to run into a new wall away from all the other enemies if I can. Keeping in mind, your special does, when it's on the ground, a small amount of damage. It's not a whole lot, but it is enough damage to make it potentially break damage control shields and make it so you can pop the, what are they called? The flame wheels with damage rather than anything else.
Chaos has been lifted.
Snowburst, Frozen Touch. She is refusing to give us that one boon. She's like, okay, you want it? Well, here, have the other thing you really, really want and pick which one you prioritize. And well, I picked the one I prioritize, and here we are. Frozen Touch. I don't really want it. Snowburst, I guess I can use because it's one extra infliction of chill. We'll take that, I guess.
It's freezing.
All right. Oh, there's a fish in here. I heard it. How are we doing on time? We're not doing amazing on time, but we're really not doing bad on time either. So I can pussyfoot around a little bit.
Bite this.
But anyway, Kiwi and I live in the middle of nowhere. To get to these thrift shops, we had to drive like half an hour out, just to have a chance at finding something. And today we're going to be going to quote unquote the big city adventure of like it's an hour's drive just to get to quote unquote the biggest city around town. And it's still like, I think having grown up in a more urban area, I would equate it to the standard urban suburbia. Like it does not feel like a city at all. Given I've grown up, pardon me, oh my goodness, I lost my voice there for a second. Given that I've grown up around what a proper city would be, like a proper American city, quote unquote proper. This is suburbia, but called a city for the people who are used to living around next to nothing, I suppose. For what it's worth, though, I much prefer that. I hate major cities. They are a sensory overload nightmare for me. So like, I will always prefer the calmer, quiet, mild suburbia versus the loud, smelly, hustling, bustling, too many people infested. Oh, that's the wrong way to phrase it, but you know what I mean. Like there are just too many people to like conceivably want to ever be around that many people. I suppose for me, I am introverted to begin with, and it's just like. It's not honestly even the people that's the problem. Like I don't mind being around people. It's all the other things. It's the strong smells, the overwhelmingly loud noises, people shouting at each other from across the street. It's just a different way of living that I don't particularly seek nowadays. Frankly, I never did. My mom was the city gal, and she loves going to the big city that we grew up around. I never wanted to go, frankly, but when you're a kid, you're a victim to your parents' whims, if nothing else, you know? So, had to go with the flow, I suppose, on that one. Things are getting a little spicy in terms of our Death Defiance resources. I'll have to be a little bit careful here. Let's see, anything here? HP, Chthonic Keepsake. I'm not really using my Chthonic Keepsake. We don't need the darkness, so I'll skip that trove for the sake of our survivability. I do think I probably buy this HP since I can afford a boon anyway. Ah, man, we have so many rerolls. I'm probably going to be like rerolling a whole bunch in sticks, which isn't a bad option, but it feels a little bit lame. Let's go for a palm and see if we can get that on Glacial Glare so we can make our cast last longer. Did our Chaos Boon pop? It did, so I can start using my cast again, which will be nice, too. Yeah, once we get enemies status privilege, our attack damage is actually pretty up there. We seem to be melting enemies very quickly. I will say the other downside to Crystal Embrace that I'm now recognizing is that I find it incredibly kind of distracting. Like, keeping track of where I am amidst all of these lasers gets a little bit overwhelming very quickly, especially if we had a lot of lasers at once. I imagine I would get lost in the sauce very, very easily. But we generate God Gauge extremely quickly, so maybe I just spam some Poseidon here and try to kill everything as quick as possible. Kind of wasted on these enemies that have... Oh, hello. 1 second. Need to be mindful of enemies here.
I can't.
Yeah, we actually generate God Gauge extremely fast. I will say, thankfully, Chaos offered us something in the way of being able to get cast, because I doubt we're ever going to see Artemis's cast with this build. I feared for my life with those chariots, so I decided probably best to just toss out a Poseidon cast here, or Poseidon call rather. We have a lot of kind of zoning tools in this build, interestingly enough, like our beams and our specials.
Good enough to eat.
Ooh, we did get a level of Glacial Clear, so our cast now lasts 3.4 seconds. Awesome.
Juicy.
And then we'll go for the shop here. The extra Hermes wouldn't be bad. There isn't a whole lot I want, and the shop could offer us the Demeter boon that we're still hunting for, or Artemis, or anything, frankly.
How goes it, Zagreus?
Hey, Artemis. Hunter's Mark, Hunter's Instinct, Tidebreaker. None of these are the ones we want to get set up for her legendary or her duo with Poseidon, so I guess we're just going to take Hunter's Mark, because we do have pressure points and we do attack often enough. I think I'll probably take the HP. I have a fear that we're going to have some trouble against the heroes here. We'll keep them nice and slow since we don't pop our chilled effect, but I have a feeling we're going to get hit a lot here.
Come forth, blackguard, and be vanquished by my righteous spear.
If you say so, Theseus. But I'm focusing on Asterius first, I guess. Or not. I completely missed him. Why did our special shoot all the way over there? Oh gosh. Oh no. Okay, we dodged it. We dodged it, thankfully. At the very least, it's very easy to apply max stack chill and weak to enemies, so I can fairly reliably, maybe not have damage on them, but very reliably evade, reduce the damage potential of those enemies. Triple Bomb is honestly kind of fun with this build, not gonna lie. I really like Lucifer's special overall. Oh gosh, I got clipped by one of Theseus's bombs. Those do so much damage, and I don't really have a good way of... Oh my goodness, are you real? Are you serious? Are you serious? That is genuine bull hockey. These guys are kissing each other, so I'm gonna try and drop in a Patroclus on them. Fortunately, I did not get it off, but okay, you saw that, right, Kiwi? That was not my fault. That was Asterius's impeccable pathing. And I am getting really unlucky here, honestly. I guess that's my fault for trying to use Poseidon. How did that hit me? Okay, Kiwi, I am super tilted now. I am genuinely, like, super duper tilted here. Alright, Asterius, get popped for me, won't ya?
You have no bearing and no grace or
Oh, hello. Oh my goodness, that really did hit me. Kiwi, I am having a really bad time. Oh, hi, Bull. Hi, Bull. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna get clipped by that. Okay, good. We popped the bull, which is what probably matters most here. Don't get hit, don't get hit. Please don't get hit. Okay, whew, close. I think we got the kill with Killing Freeze there. So I'm thinking about doing some extra Styx chambers, but I might not be able to, just for the sake of not dying. And also tight deadline is getting
My biggest fan.
a little bit tighter around our necks than I would like. What I'll probably do is if there's a god we really want, like Demeter, I'll take her room, or Artemis.
I didn't see you coming.
Well, here I am, Hades. See me now. Oh, Prometheus Stone. Okay, that could be fun. Probably not worth taking this early into 6, especially if I am mulling over the idea of a bunch of extra chambers. What do I take here, honestly? Probably Evergreen Acorn just for safety, or... I don't know, there really aren't any gods that I want other than Artemis, and once we get Artemis, potentially Poseidon. I guess I'll just play it safe. This is fine. We do not have much of anything in the way of coin.
Should I take the trade?
Unfortunately, we're not offered things that I particularly want to sell. Wave pounding will really help us against Hades later when we're using Poseidon's call for safety. We are down 2 Death Defiances. Our HP isn't looking the prettiest it could. This is looking a little sketchy, but that's why I took 25 heat. I wanted slightly spicier, dicier runs, right, Kiwi? I'm only regretting my decision in hindsight. At least they were kind enough to give us a whole bunch of gold in this chamber. That was nice of them. Let's see. So there's a high tier Artemis, there's Ares, there's Poseidon. So there's a chance we could get what we want. I don't really care about Ares. Poseidon there. Okay. So the gods we want have not shown up. I'm going to start by re-rolling this coin chamber.
How about another?
No. Artemis, yes. Okay. Yes, okay, so we still can't, in theory, get her duo, but an Artemis room here could set us up for her legendary, potentially, if we're lucky. We basically, we can't get Exit Wind, so we really do need, what's it called, Support Fire, which generally is not a boon I would prioritize in most instances, but here is the exception to the rule, you know? You know what, I should just be caught. I'm taking more damage here than I need to. I just need to drop all of my zoning tools because these things die in 3 hits with damage control shields and 1 hit if they didn't have them. All right. Satyr room, just bail out for their attack, then bail back in. Look at them just get melted. Like, we do actually have fairly decent DPS potential. It's just, it's kind of unwieldy. It's hard to aim that DPS potential. It doesn't feel incredible to rely on yet. And it never will because we did not take Crystal Clarity. Oh, here I am whining like I said I would. Oh well.
No way.
I could check that Pool of Purging, but I'll probably just ignore it for the sake of the little bit of time that's saved here.
Father thinks my chamber's
I'm
the
honestly
cutest.
gonna drop the Achilles here. I don't, oh, maybe I shouldn't have. Probably, okay, we still hit that giant snake stone a little bit there, so this is fine. And I should be able to melt it the rest of the way with, oh my goodness, we crit on the Poseidon call, so that thing just got hit for a 1200 hit, nice.
Olympus, I accept this message.
Okay, oh, there it is, Support Fire. So we, in theory, can, in fact, get Artemis's Legendary here. That'll be very silly if we do. Okay. Can't afford any major boons. We still do not have an Artemis boon to get Mirage Shot, though, so we still roll chambers, I think. Let's see what that other mini-boss chamber is, and we'll roll that. This is the one thing about Fated Authority that's the most fun, is making it to Styx with all your Fated Authorities. Because you can guarantee some really fun rooms, potentially. So, Poseidon, I don't really want to roll Poseidon, because I would like his boon. I just need an Artemis first. So... Hermes isn't bad either. I guess I roll the HP here.
Not what I need right now.
And we're not getting lucky. Unfortunate. I'll take the coin, I guess. Oh, probably should have done the Hermes chamber first. All things considered, the coin is the least interesting option of what I had afforded to me. Granted, I know that once I've rerolled that chamber, I'm not getting anything better out of it. How are we doing on time? We've got 7 minutes. As long as I have like 3 minutes to beat Hades on Extreme Measures 2, I feel pretty confident I can do so in reasonable time, I hope. Like, it feels like our damage is there. It's just, it also feels like the things we want beyond our damage are not, unfortunately. Oh my goodness! And if I keep getting clipped by these rats, I'm gonna have a bad time. Let's hopefully we get the 2 chamber sticks here. I really do not want to have to deal with a full chamber of enemies, especially if they're satyrs. But we'll see. This room's fine. This room I don't mind, as long as I don't sit in the minefield and get knocked down by it, because I certainly could. I have a bad habit of doing that, in fact. Oh dear! And they heard I didn't want the rats, and here we are with giant vermin. On the bright side, they are very. This is a good chamber for them, because the traps are very easy to evade, and I can very easily kite out these rats and not take any major damage to them. Especially if they're just going to sit there and spam poison, because for a change, I have a poison spamming rat room without a melee build, as it turns out. And Poseidon's Greater Call, probably a bit of a waste here. Should probably save it for safety, but we can at least sort of use it. Yeah, honestly, Poseidon's Greater Call here doesn't out DPS our potential on other means. From other memes. Other means is what I'm trying to say, I swear. I'm not trying to say memes. There we go. I know we're going to have at least one more set of waves, and of course I wasted all my bombs there. This is a lot of things. At least no satyrs. No satyrs means this room is relatively free for us, for what we want at least. Again, it's a bit of a, it's a huge time loss. Like, this room took forever to kill, so I do have to be mindful of that fact. But at the very least, we didn't lose, we lost time, we did not lose HP or Death Defiances, which probably are more important, although I feel like I could handle Hades relatively well with this build. Honestly, my brain is kind of interpreting our cast stones as threats to evade, but oh my goodness, this chamber is taking forever. Potentially even 5 ever. It's so long. There we go. Sheesh. And all that for coin was not worth it. Let's see. No, I don't sell any of that. That stuff is useful to us, at least. All right, let's go ahead and take this Artemis Boon. And maybe we get her dash and then go for the high tier Poseidon Chamber.
Always a pleasure, Charon.
Well, I mean, we didn't get her dash, but we did get her fully loaded. Wait, hold on. Do we even have... We don't have the boon that makes enemies explode when they get chilled, and we don't have a Demeter chamber, so the silliness of this build is completely wasted. The gimmick that I was building around is completely wasted. Feels bad. I'm gonna go for the 3-chamber 6 hope and take this Hermes chamber. Then we'll hopefully... if we still, after all this, do not get what we need, like we don't see an Artemis room, or we don't get a Satyr sack for that matter, well, oh well. Oh well, at this point, frankly. I don't think I get to play around with a tight deadline much more anymore without risking the run, you know? This build is exceptionally good at building up God Gauge, though. Unfortunately, without any palm levels on the call, it's not gonna feel as good as it could. Again, Poseidon's Call has incredible DPS potential, but you kind of need to have some level of stacks on it, or a higher tier than what we have. But that said, we can use it for safety if nothing else, and that's pretty important. That is pretty important to acknowledge. I guess in theory I could re-roll this room for a different Hermes boon. Or for a different boon, since Hermes isn't super important to this build. Wow, I definitely face-tanked a guillotine there, didn't I? Do I do it? Kiwi, do I do it? I feel like I'm gonna get punished and get coin or HP. But we don't really need Hermes on this build. Granted, if I don't take Hermes, he could potentially roll in on the next. I'm gonna do it. Let's see what we get. Coin, called it. All right, rolling again. HP, wow. Did I call it or what? Unlucky. But at least we heal a bit more this way. Realistically speaking, we don't really need the Hermes boon anyway. Alright, we can afford a Poseidon boon, we can afford an Ares boon, but we cannot get any Artemis boons. We got her call, which is at least meme-worthy enough on its own right. I'd probably just skip that Poseidon boon and buy something here. Of the two, neither of them really benefit us that much. Ares, I guess, gets Curse of Vengeance. I don't care about his dash. Tidal dash is kind of whatever for us here. I guess it doesn't matter.
Why not?
Sure, Razor Shoals, actually, that'll give us some damage. I guess I didn't think about his tier 2s. Poseidon's tier 2s are pretty solid.
Thus has the prince again persuaded fearsome Cerberus to get out of his way.
Okay, I'm just going to point out the fact that we did not get Arctic Burst, but we got fully loaded somehow, and that makes no sense to me, whatever. The point is we have a lot of beams. Even if we're not stacking chilled, we got all the beams, which means we got the memes. We did not get Mirage Shot, so we're half the potential we could have had, but that's the one downside to taking Fated Authority is depending on your RNG, you just get screwed over. I mean, that's the nature of Fated Authority too, so I guess it's either or on that front. Oh well.
Still chilly out here thanks to grandmother.
At the very least, Fated Authority got us fully loaded, so I can't complain too much.
There you are, boy. I was beginning to think I'd need a thicker cloak.
Alright, Hades, let's see your HP disappear, or mine, because frankly, I feel like I can handle you with Forced Overtime, level 1, and what we've got going here, but also, you know, I just realized we have 4 casts. Why don't we just dash around with beams for a little bit? Because we can. Like, even without, admittedly even without Mirage Shot, this is kind of really silly now that I think about it. I should count how many beams we get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we get 16 up before we need to refill. So if we had gotten Mirage Shot, that would have been 32. It's not a record. Our record was 48 with Crystal Clarity, actually, of all things. I'm going to go ahead and use Poseidon's Call to take out these witches because they're actually eating my acorn. But, like, this is kind of silly. We do have a laser light show going on, if nothing else. All right. You know what? I'm having fun here. Like, we may not have the insanity that Glacial... what is it? Arctic Burst would provide, because we would be stacking up so many afflictions of chilled so very quickly there. But this is kind of actually what I was aiming for. So you know what? We have another Crystal Meme build. It's not perfect. It's far from perfect. Let's see if I can position. Let me see if I can position a bunch of beams across from him and just watch that damage happen. And again, we do have our attack as one extra beam. So here, wait, what am I doing? Tossing these down. I'm gonna just try and stack them all in this one corner if I can. Oh, he's gonna go for lasers immediately. Lame. I'm surprised that didn't hit us, and I'm not sure why it didn't. All right, look at this. Look at this damage. Look at his HP get melted. Okay, that's... Again, Crystal Embrace kind of is terrible for positioning reasons. Reliable positioning reasons. But we did somehow get a meme. Thank you, Chaos, for flagging us down in that one chamber. Like, what? Really, what was that going on there? Sorry, Hades. We're just gonna beam you down here. I don't even need the attack, frankly. And he's so slow he can't even do anything to us. Like, look at this. This is so silly. Oh, right, I have Patroclus to use. Don't need to use our Greater Call even considered. Like, look at this. Look at this. Disgusting. Like, if we genuinely, I'm so sad we did not get Mirage Shot. We would not have had the most beams we've ever had, but still. There we go. All right, finishing with Antos. There we go. GG.
You've still some spark then, Shade.
The funniest thing about this build is if we did use Poseidon's Call, like, we would be safe while all these lasers are doing their thing.
We broke through every one of my defenses once again.
I mean, honestly, Crystal Embrace comboed with Poseidon's Call is a devastating synergy. I think Ares Call would work pretty well that way too. But there we go. All right.
Get you yet.
There were just a few crystal beams going on in this run. I didn't even use my attack, which would technically count as an extra one. So if we count the attack as a crystal beam, because technically it is a chill inflicting beam attack, we had 16 plus 1. So we had 17, the potential for, oh my goodness, did I say 36 when I doubled that? I meant to say 32 because 16 times 2 is 32. Oh boy, Kiwi, I have been being really bad at math lately. Anyway, there we go. All right, let's see what we're gonna honor, because this turned into a surprisingly silly build actually. So we've got Frost Strike with Aspect of Lucifer. We've got Fully Loaded. We've got Old Embrace. And then we probably just put Slothful Grasp, right? Is there anything else that would make sense here? I mean, objectively speaking, in terms of DPS until the very end, it was Heartbreak Flourish with Lucifer's Triple Bomb Special. But yeah, I think that's kind of it, isn't it? So there we go. We'll just go ahead and toss Slothful Grasp, and there we go. Our 17 Crystal Beam build. What a weird run. We had to force Artemis to even get that, and somehow we managed to pull it off and get her legendary. Silly, but satisfying. That's the nature of this run, I suppose. Kiwi, let's go say goodnight to the house.
There are a myriad of tales to be told, of both great deeds and of vainglorious defeats. And this has been a tale that falls somewhere in the middle overall.
Well, anyway, all I want to say, Kiwi, is I know shopping for clothes can be inherently stressful for both of us, but it's so much better going together than going alone or with our parents. I don't know why. It's nice to have you around. You are a vacuum for stress for me. And I don't want to say that because then it sounds like you're taking on my stress, but like we are very good at just dampening each other's stresses and giving us some sort of positive outlook to cope with things.
You'll get them next time, right?
That I will, Hypnos, and the time after that, and the time after that.
Experience is the greatest teacher, lad.
Is it 7:48? Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. It is.
I think it says it's 48 minutes past the 7th hour.
Oh shoot, I was wrong. I guess it wasn't.
What's new?
No parent should outlive their child. Glad I didn't. Cause of death, infection. Honestly, I vibe with that. That one scene from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood where a certain character has passed on and his daughter is responding to like, why are they burying daddy? My goodness, does that one hurt?
Cerberus looks mournfully toward the prince.
At this point, I don't think I need to avoid spoilers
Pet your other heads. Don't bite my arm off. Deal?
for an anime plot point that it's been out since 2003. Like, oh my goodness, that was 22 years ago. Oh, let's not think about that. Oh my gosh. Time isn't it? Time is something,
I
man.
must say, you made a hollow mockery of Theseus that time.
And every time I always mock Theseus. Haven't you seen me, like, walk up to his chariot and give him a kiss? He must hate that.
The songs of my Eurydice are without peer.
Although, canonically speaking, if it were Zagreus, probably what he would do is he would walk up to the chariot, go, touch, just poke it with one finger, go, I'm touching your chariot, Theseus, what you gonna do about it?
Nice work, Orpheus.
I could absolutely see Zagreus just trolling Theseus that way. Absolutely. Alright, let's see. What do you girls got to say?
This particular discussion doesn't concern you, Zag.
Oh, my apologies. Continue your lady talk then, and have a good evening. Or morning.
Since all of the minor prophecies described within the fated list have been fulfilled, I do not understand how that is possible.
Diligence, much free time, and some very silly runs.
Well, it certainly took some doing, and several of those really were rather difficult and took some time, but what's so special about getting through them all? It's a list, right?
And I mean, they are fated prophecies. They're going to happen. They happen eventually, and we made them happen.
The fates are always at their weaving. To have caught up with their designs, well, I should think that they shall have to learn to weave a little faster, perhaps.
Maybe they can start weaving the fates of Hades too. Ha 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 ha.
Any new prophecies need fulfilling, they know where to find me.
I suppose they do, Zagreus. I'm like, do they? Do they really? But I guess yes, they objectively do. All right, Kiwi. Well, I hope you enjoyed this silly crystal meme build because it didn't quite go the way I wanted, but I can't say it went poorly either. So with all that said, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're sleeping, I hope you're sleeping well. I have no idea what I'm going to do in the next one, whether I stick with the Dark Thirst and go with a spear, or just go off the chain and just side on some silly gimmick. But with all that said, I hope you're sleeping well. If you're sleeping, I hope you're sleeping well. I love you, and I will see you after you're sleeping when you are awake from sleeping well. Kiwi, I love you. I need sleep.